Hello everyone, so today I'll be doing a review video on this thing right here. This is a Ineo M.2 NVMe heatsink with fan. So it comes with this. This is the unit that you can use to cool down your M.2 NVMe drive. This is a manual. Comes with this. This also. And it didn't come with this. This I just bought separately, of course. I put all the parts into here. It also comes with these two thermal pads. I think these screws are for fastening the M.2 NVMe heatsink to your motherboard. And it came with this screwdriver. Came with this, I think this is some kind of tie or something for the cable. And 4 screws as well. Four little screws. That's for fastening this here, this, and this to this metal part right here. I'm gonna put the M.2 NVMe drive in this case basically right now, and it also has this 4-pin connector. I think that goes into your motherboard. That goes into your motherboard basically. So you connect this to your motherboard to get power. So it connects to one of the chassis fan connectors on your motherboard. Comes with this little fan. I guess it cools it down. It shoots air into the heatsink and it comes out this way and that way basically. And this thing goes only one way. As you can see, this indent right here. You also have an indent there also. And I think this is the front. This is where you put the NVMe, the front part in there. And it pops out like this and you put it into your board. So now I'll be assembling this thing. Okay, now I got my M.2 NVMe drive out. Put it right there. Put these boxes away. I always look at the manual before I do anything usually, so okay. So we take the screws out of here, which I did to release the heatsink from the case. And it shows right here that you put one of the thermal pads on the top and you sandwich it with the NVMe, and you put another thermal pad on the bottom, so I guess that helps it conduct the heat. So let's do that then. Remove this. Make sure I get the orientation correctly. As you can see, there's an indent here on the back, as you can see right there. There's also an indent right there, so I guess it goes in this way. And let me get the thermal pad out. Okay, just like that. Got one part of it out. I guess I would put that in here. Make sure it doesn't cover the indent. because that's not what I want. Okay, so I have enough space for the indent, just like that. And I will remove the other part. And the cover from here, and remove that. Make sure I get it in there. Okay, that's in there just like that. I'm going to get this in. So it's in. I'm going to put the other thermal pad on the top of there. So I'm going to remove this sticker thing. Just remove it like that and put it on one side and put it on the other side. This film or whatever you call this. Whoops. It's not very good. Alright, let me get that in. Make sure I don't cover that screw hole. Okay. I guess I should get both sides out first, and then before I lay it down. It's kind of hard to get out. Just get it on there first. Just laying it on a flat surface first would be better. But I mustn't cover the screw hole completely. Okay. This is kind of hard to get off. If you don't remove the film, it's not going to conduct heat, so that's the thing. Let me remove that. Okay, I managed to get it off. That film, kind of hard to get off. I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. It's covering the slot. That's what I don't want. Okay, now let's check it. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay, let me get that in. I'll sandwich the two together. That looks pretty good. I think that looks good. I think this is a little bit too long. So I may need to cut it a little bit. Okay, I got a pair of scissors, small pair of scissors. I'm going to cut the excess part out. So it's a little more flush. Cut the edge a little bit more. Guess that's good enough. Okay, looks good. Now I'm going to put it back in. Okay, that is definitely a lot better. It's not sticking out. I just cut the excess off. Now I'm going to put the screws back in, one at a time. Let me throw away some of the stuff. This one. That's one. Get the other side. No, I don't think it would matter. This would be just fine. Just one side at a time. Whoops. I wonder if this is magnetic or not. It is magnetic. How thoughtful of them to give you a small magnetic screwdriver. It's a good idea, I think. Let me get the next one in. Next two in. Put it like that. Okay. Third screw. And a final screw. Don't over tighten the screws, just make sure they're firmly on there. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Good thing they provided this little screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. So now it's in. Now you just stick it into your M.2 NVMe board or your computer, and I'll do that next. I have a video that shows you how to do that, but I'll just show you a demonstration of it. And you just mount it in here at an angle and you just push it in. I think it's about 35 degrees, maybe 15 degrees. As you can see, I'm pushing it in. Okay, it's in. And put the screw right in. That's it. Push it down. It's flat on there. Get the screwdriver and just don't over tighten it, just make sure it's firmly on there. Never over tighten it. Okay, so I put the M.2 NVMe SSD in my motherboard. So this is the M.2 NVMe slot. Put it in there. I didn't have to use that little nut to put the drive in there. All I did was use the screw that was on my motherboard and I just fastened it with the little screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, and it just went in just fine. So I didn't have to use any of the parts that came with the Ineo M.2 NVMe heatsink fan kit. I didn't have to use any of those parts at all, so that's a good thing. So if you have this screw in your motherboard already, you could just simply use that and you don't have to worry about the other stuff that came with it, like the nut and the NVMe screws. You don't have to worry about it. That's it. Okay, now my M.2 NVMe SSD is installed on my computer, and I booted up my computer. I enabled the drive, so the drive is iDrive, and I partitioned the drive, and it's ready to be tested with the Ineo M.2 NVMe heatsink. So let's begin. So I'm gonna go here and start crystal mark and see what I get for the numbers. So this is iDrive. This is the totally new drive. It shows it as a NVMe PCI 2.0 times 2 and all that. So this is indeed the M.2 NVMe, and the temperature is 29 degrees Celsius, which is pretty good for a M.2 NVMe. Because I'll show you what the numbers that I was getting previously with this same M.2 NVMe SSD on another computer. So these numbers I think are very good, and that heatsink fan is definitely doing its job. But before that, I'll show you what the results were from last time. Okay, this is the video that I made on December 19, 2020 with the M.2 drive, and as you can see here, the temperature is 35 degrees Celsius, and that is for my M.2 Western Digital SSD drive. So it's 35 degrees, and this is the video that I made, like I said, around December 19, 2020. So obviously there is a performance difference of about 29 and 35, so that's 6 degrees Celsius. So the difference is 6 degrees Celsius for this compared to the drive that I'm using right now. This, well, it's 30 degrees now. Okay, 35 degrees, so 5 degrees Celsius difference. Let's see what so that's pretty good. I mean, it's actually working, but I want to see how it is when I'm running something. Is that going to make a difference? Is it going to get hotter if I run a benchmark with it? So let's just see. I'm going to benchmark iDrive, which is my M.2 NVMe SSD. So I'm going to test it out. So I'm going to test that. So now it's running and testing. So let's see if the temperature goes up as a result of the test or not. Okay, that looks to be done. So let's check the temperature now. So it went up about 1 degree Celsius. Okay, that's not too bad. It's doing its job, so I'm pretty happy with this little upgrade that I made for my computer. So anyways, if you're interested, I'll leave the links in the video descriptions below, and you can get one if you want. But I think it's definitely worth investing a little bit of money into something like this to improve the performance, or make your hardware last longer, because heat is the biggest killer of any electronic components. So thanks for watching. My Ace 1000KS 1975 signing out.